to go live because I was just in the shower and I was thinking a lot about content and AI and where things are going. And I was just journaling a little bit right now and I wrote down something pretty interesting and I want to share it. So I wrote down content is now a form of self and AI expression. AI expression is the filtered down version of self expression. Self is source. Human beings eventually are drawn to source. Therefore, self expression will always win. So, for those of you guys who do not know, my name is Muhammad. I own a media company, and I'm also the founder of a school community called Self Express, where I help experts in their field find their voice on camera, and I consult them on their marketing and personal branding. Now, I've been working with a lot of individuals over the past 8 to 10 years, and always just like have been so interested in self-expression, right? Because everyone finds their own style, everyone finds their own voice, everyone has their own unique personality. Even though um, sometimes the advice always starts to seem the same, right? But I think what makes the information that people are presenting different is themselves, right? It's their personality, it's their own unique twist on things, it's their own like quirks and features that they have when it comes to creating their content. And I think what's happening now is something that's pretty interesting because AI now is obviously creating a shit ton of content. And even if itself is not creating it, there are people using AI for their scripts, they're using it for their thumbnails, they're using it for their titles, the YouTube description, so on and so forth. And what I've been noticing on YouTube and other platforms like Instagram or whatever is that I'm starting to see a lot of, hold on, I'm going to be like, hey, what's up? What I'm starting to see is there's a lot of people who are just starting to sound the same. It's like there's two groups of people on YouTube now. There are people who all sound the same, and then there are people who you can tell are really doing a lot of introspection. They're really doing a lot of inward like digging. They're trying to find their own style. They're talking about things that are genuinely interesting to them. They're almost erasing the line, that the imaginary line in a way that's funny, between you and between them and the viewer, right? That line is like slowly diminishing. And what I mean by that, I mean they're not really presenting when they're on camera. They're literally just showing you their true selves, right? That's why I think live streaming is becoming such a really cool way to create content because it's live, right? You can't script being live. Like even right now, like I'm not scripting being live. It's literally impossible, and if you do, it just looks super weird. But at the same time, um, there's all these other people who are creating content, and it's just all through AI, and it sounds fucking weird. It's starting to sound weird. Let's just be honest, right? I was just watching this video the other day, and this guy, he was like a younger kid. He was like 19 or 20, and he was rating all the AIs from S tier all the way down to like D tier or something like that. And the first 30 to 40 seconds of the video, or the first minute of the video, was like him super scripted. And I can tell it was like such an awkward position for him to take, right? He's a younger kid, but the video was really good. But the beginning was like literally just him starting to talk. And he was just like, and today we're going to go over the best reasons why you blah, 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 blah. And then, like, as soon as the intro finished, he was like, like that. He didn't even cut that out, which I thought was such a funny thing because he like postured so heavily. And then he like relaxed and then he started talking, and the whole video was actually really good. And I was like, dude, that was such an interesting thing because when I was watching it, I was like, it would have been so funny if you would have just, all you honestly had to do, in my opinion, right? My humble opinion, is literally just be like, yo, today we're going to rate the AIs from S tier all the way down to D tier, and let's just hop right into it. That's all he had to say, right? But I think there was like this whole thing, and I think justifiably too, where he was kind of trying to like prove himself, and he's like, here's why I'm credible enough to talk about this. I've been using these, blah, 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 blah. And I think there's a reason for that too, right? I think because there's so much bullshit online. So as soon as like somebody clicks on your content or somebody's clicking on your videos, that you have to actively fight against them leaving, right? As soon as somebody clicks on one of your pieces of videos, they're just looking for a reason not to trust you. And I think it's rightfully so, right? You shouldn't trust random people on the internet. But I also think there's this thing happening where I I think people are hearing that like, oh, well, you need to prove yourself, right? You need to make sure you're credible enough to talk about the thing you're talking about. You need to do this, you need to do that. And I think there's a truth to that. You do, but I think there's like so much more space to like kind of relax a little bit and just be like, yeah, bro, like I've been using a lot of these AIs for a few years now. Let's hop right into it. Because people don't have a reason to trust you, but they don't have a reason to necessarily not trust you. But the thing is, when somebody's hopping on your content, they're leaning way more towards like not trusting you, which is why you have to put those credibility statements in, or maybe like show some testimonials or something like that. Even myself and my content, honestly, nowadays I don't even know how to really fucking explain it. But when people are like, "Well, why are you talking about content?" and I'm like, "Oh, well, I own a media company. My media company creates like over 20 pieces of content, at least 20. I mean, probably more, honestly, probably around like 30 pieces of content per week for other people. They hire us for videos. Um, hi. They're hiring us for videos. And they're also just kind of, and then on top of that, I've been like creating content for years, right? So it's like, I even have trouble explaining how the fuck that all works, like explaining my credibility statement when I want to ask where you are from. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Where are you from? This is why I like going live, by the way. I don't know why my chat show. I'm such a noob because my I don't even know how to use chat properly. Also, in my defense, I'm using Riverside, and it's a whole thing. But hold on, I forgot my train of thought. I'm oh, the credibility statements. So like yeah, when I'm like talking about my credibility statements, it's so fucking awkward because I'm always like, oh well, I own a media company and I have a school community and blah 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 blah. Blah. It's like okay, cool. Anyways, you know, but there's a lot of cool creators too that don't necessarily, um, they don't actually talk about themselves, and I don't know if that's just because they're, um, like maybe they have a large following or something. I don't know, but they're just kind of hop into the content, which is honestly something I like to do because even when I'm like creating content for my clients, right? I never really have them too much like this is obviously mostly for short form though, but we never do like intros like that. But I think for long form, I think one or two sentences just for a credibility statement and you're good. But I digress. My ADD took me away a little bit. Um, I do want to talk about. Wow, I think that person asked me where I was from and then they just left. They're like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Detroit," and they're like, "All right, bye," which is kind of funny. Okay, anyways, today I really wanted to talk a little bit more about like how to use AI properly in your content, because I think it's very fucking important, right? I think like what I've noticed a lot of my clients doing and people in my school community, and I can tell because every single time I watch their content, I'm like, oh, this person used AI for their script, and I can tell. So the most important thing to do when you're creating content for your business or yourself or whatever is the introspection. The introspection is literally the most important step when it comes to creating. And the reason is because generally speaking now information is heavily readily available, right? Most people now are just going to go to chat and be like, "What's this?" And then chat will just tell them. It'll give them all the information they need, probably way better than you. And chat is the weakest of AIs, I think, right now. I've been using Manus, and Manus is like a huge step up. And I've also heard like Claude is also a huge step up. But, anyways, the introspection that you do before you go to create your content is actually the thing that's going to make your content like sick, at least in my opinion, because the information is so readily available, right? So what right now, I think what the shift is, if you're doing any like consulting, or you're talking about information, or you're sharing perspectives or something, is the most important thing is probably your perspective on the information, right? If you almost like we're becoming prisms in a way. And it's interesting because if all the information is readily available, which it always has been, but even for the past 10 years, like Google's always been a thing, right? But now it's even more readily available. The best thing to do is be a filter for people, because giving people specific context on when to apply specific information, that's what's also that's the gold now. That's the real value, right? Is like curated advice for specific people, which I think is why I'm one going live more, because I want to talk to people eventually when I start getting like more people joining these streams. Two is why I think I started a school community called Self Express, because I like working with individuals. Everyone has their own unique approach to things, right? And the school community I created is literally just a place for that to happen. It's pretty interesting, right? Because I kind of almost like made this little bet, and I was like, well, if information is so readily available, then I can't really make content offering like information. I think it was just dull, right? And I was like thinking about what I want to do, and I was like, everyone's a little bit different, and everyone needs like their own unique form of self-expression. I was like, so I kind of like have created this little community to allow that to happen. And it's pretty fun. It's pretty sweet. Check it out. The links in the bio. Um, so back to like, I know I'm ADD, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just get so excited. I'm also super caffeinated right now. It's 6:45 a.m. here. Anyways, um, number two, that's I think the second thing I was gonna say, um, is when it comes to like scripting AI, I don't think you should just pop into AI and be like, let me write a script. Just write a script for me, and I'm gonna just read that script. It's gonna be super weird. I think it's best if you go into it with a light script that you've written, and you ask it to reorganize it for you. I'll even give you a small hack here. If you're using Manus AI, what's super sweet is it's going to create slides for you. Because I suck at graphic design, and literally the other day it just went ahead and created like a whole slideshow um, for you. Hold on, I want to see if I can screen. I want to actually show you guys this because it's pretty interesting. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Yeah, I'm just sharing my screen. So check this out. This was all created through Manus. Like I wrote a script, and then I had it just spit out some slides for me. And I made a whole video just off these slides, which it was cool. It was sweet, right? So I think that's where it's like AI is becoming super useful, at least for myself, is because I'm able to like save a lot of time on shit I don't like to do. Like, but I don't think you should use it for everything. It's just not there yet. And I think, and the reason why, and I'm going to just say this a million times, and I think I'm going to die saying this one day, but hopefully not soon. But I think the thing is, really don't forget that your perspective, your personal experience, your taste, your agency, that's the value, that's the gold. Your take on the information that AI gives you is the gold. That's what the value is, not the information itself. Experience will always triumph over information, just information, 100%. Like I'd rather learn something from somebody who's actually walked the walk than has been just like read a million books. Straight up. I swear to, like, it's obvious, right? So I think what the most important thing now is like actually like going out and doing things, which like I think in my school community, I work with a lot of real estate agents. I work with one of my clients is like a dentist. I have like a few other clients like in a bunch of different niches. And I think why they see success is like they're already doing the thing, right? And when they're already doing the thing, it's like it just makes it so much easier. So actually do shit is my whole thing on that. And then what was I going to say? Content is a form of self-expression, not AI expression. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, man. That shit just hit me in the morning when I wrote that down. I'm going to take a little breather here. But dude, I got to say, live is where it's at in my opinion. Like I'm going all in on live just because I think it's the most fun. I fucking hate scripting shit and it almost forces me to just be natural. I love live. Like right now it's cool and like no one's even on the stream right now, but it's just something about being live to me is just so fun and like it just feels legit. I just really appreciate it. Like I love it. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. But yeah, let me know what your guys' take is like when it comes to like AI and creating content. If you guys want to join like a community and that's free right now, then links in the bio, do your thing. I like working with people who are already like running businesses and stuff and like they have their own thing going. And even if you're not and you just want a bunch of free value, join. Say what's up. I'm a cool guy, don't bite. But yeah, much love y'all. And I will just end the stream now because I have to actually go do some work. I'll probably go live later though. Peace.